That's 80 pounds of winch right there. I really like this thing. Found out the scrapyard last year. Come on. Freeing up a bit there, but overall it's about 80 pounds, so I paid about 40 bucks for it, and I think that this would be really good for a hand-powered crane. Wouldn't that be cool? Like a medieval style crane. It's made out of big 8x8 beams and wheel it around. Maybe not. No, never mind. These weren't cut with a torch. They were cut to make them fit, but they were moved carefully, so perhaps I'm just misreading. These were cut with a torch so they could fit. Much nicer. A little WD-40 helps to clean out the gunk. Perfect. Now would be a good time for me to show you guys the footage, which I believe I still have, of last summer when me and Thermionic Man found this at the scrapyard. Look at that. Look at that winch. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that is cool.
What do you think? I think it's too heavy, right?
Yeah, we need a lift for that. Well, maybe not a lift.
We get the dolly. But, yeah. But what do you think? Like the restoration possibilities for that? It'll be here for a while, but
that'd be easy to restore. So it's not froze up. We've got got movement on all the shafts. And check this out. The locking pawl is here. So you can crank it up, you can let go of it, and the pawl will catch it and lock whatever you've got at a certain height. Look at that. So it won't go backwards on you and drop the load.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be so handy.
What's this again? This is a brake. This is a brake, so you can switch it.
Yep, yep. And look at the size of that gear. I mean, you've got like 1 inch, you know, engagement on those gears, spur gears.
When did they start doing these nipple oilers?
Well, these nipple oilers, get a load of this, and this is a cool story. These are called Zerk fittings.
Okay.
And these were designed by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Zerk in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
What?
For the Nash and the Hudson Motor Car Company.
Okay, when was that?
Like in the 1930s or 40s or something.
Okay, so this is the 1930s or 40s then?
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
You know, and...
well, it's at least not older than that.
Right.
Yeah.
But not far from my house, a mile or two from my house, is a big, huge estate called the Zerk Mansion, where this guy, because he got like a penny for every one of these things that were ever made, built a mansion in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
So it's a 22-to-1 ratio. I have to turn this around 22 times for this to turn once. And this cable's nice. It's like, looks like it's 30-some feet. I can splice some more on that, and that'll be good. Oh, look at that. It's not even really frozen that much. got lucky. There we go. Not too bad. Either I'm unscrewing it or I'm twisting it in half. Who knows? Oh yeah, I'm unscrewing it. Cool. Yeah. Oh well. Doing it. Oh my God. Ooh. It's a little gummed up. That grease is pretty old. And yeah, okay, so. Ooh, coming up. It's a substantial piece right there. There we go. So they are just a crap ton of rust in there. Oh God, all the junk on here. Because you know this is most likely for like something to do with boats. Or something, you know, where there's probably going to be a lot of junk and like water or whatever. Then again, it's just Illinois, and Illinois is terrible on things. Look at that. That is just awful. I can do some sandblasting. Look at that. Perfect. Oh my God. Either way, I think I can get this off. Saves so much weight. At a certain point, you just stop caring. And if I mess up these threads like I already did, whatever. I might just replace those bolts if they're too eaten up. It appears this is a pin that goes through there. That over here, it's like a rivet head. And over here, it's crushed. So I guess they put it in here red hot and they crushed it. And so it's wider, and so it won't go back in. Oh. Oh. It is like a bolt or something. Very clean. Oh, you know what? It's been encased in oil, so that's why it's so clean. That's pretty bent up. Oh, whatever. It? Oh, that's it. Really? Yeah, because that light's in there is pretty dim.
I don't know if you want to put it inside, but I got it sitting on top.
So it's not going very well. That sandblaster still needs a lot of maintenance, and the grit has too much junk in it, so it keeps clogging about every 90 seconds. But I can go over the rest of it with a wire wheel, and for the most part it's pretty good. Sandblasting this most likely asbestos brake pad seemed to do a really good job, and it's roughed up a bit more. That's good. No reason replacing that if it's still good. Well guys, I've had I've had such a hard, like, tedious time with that sandblaster. I didn't want to bother getting too much footage because the grit has a lot of junk in it. I'm gonna have to come back with a sieve and clean it. I had to clean out the thing every 30 seconds, but I got it all done. Bill's already taken the other stuff out. And what I figure I can do is I can come back with my angle grinder and my wire wheel and kind of finish some of this stuff. But I just wanted to get most of the nooks and crannies cleaned off, and that's more than good enough for paint. Actually, you're a professional painter, so what's your opinion of that?
Oh, that'll paint up beautifully.
Does primer will stick to that pretty good?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I mean, it needs to be like blown off and cleaned off, get the dust off of it. But as far as it being clean enough, oh yeah.
Now I want your actual like professional opinion. I don't think putting paint on the gear teeth would be a good idea because it would just like get gnarled up.
Eventually it would, yeah.
I think maybe paint on this side, but keep the gear teeth clean. And I'll actually take these and put a wire brush through them so they come like really nice and shiny. And so those will be like really greasy and shiny. And so I think that might look kind of neat to where all these faces that face each other, they'll be like nice and clean and shiny.
I was just gonna say maybe put a little grease in there, yeah.
Oh, these are gonna have a lot of grease.
Yeah.
Now I didn't sandblast this little bolt, so I'll have to redo that. Good enough for me. Alright, time to paint it. And I got out some bakery tray, so don't have to worry too much about paint messing up my workbench. Look at that. Perfect. I do like how much more exact painting with the brush is. Weird. It's rusting. I just noticed that. Well, that's not right. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? What the hell? Who would have thought that primer would cause it to rust? Oh. Yay. How nice. So that just fucked up everything. Alright, my father to the rescue. We just ran out and got some, we've decided on, since this stuff seems to work so well, we got this more like tealish color, gloss, deep turquoise. I just want to put something on it to stop it from rusting. And I figure, instead of just trying to paint everything but the gear faces, I'll just go ahead and splatter some onto the gear faces, and I can brush those off later. And then I'm going to put linseed oil over those, and eventually I would like to actually get pigments and start mixing my own paints with linseed oil. I think that might be the best option. Oh, by the way, pretty soon this paint, this tray, which is like my designated painting tray, is going to be like just paint, and then the rest of it is going to rot away. It's going to be just a paint tray. I already have a spot to hang these up over the workbench, so I'm just going to hang them on those nails. This should be fine. Oh, I like that.
Nice color.
Let that drip around a bit. That look good to you?
Yeah.
The gear teeth I'll clean off later.
Startled me.
Oh my god. Wait, laugh.
No, I thought something was, I don't know, it caught me off guard.
This grit does kind of get everywhere. I will agree. Although I imagine as long as the paint gets around the grit, it shouldn't be too bad. Look at that. I like it. Alright, so this piece, it can't come out because this has been like ripped, so it's too wide. It's like something hit it, and so it can't pass through there. So you know what? I'm just going to paint it all as one big piece. It'll look fine. Now this asbestos, which I'm just assuming it's asbestos, which I'm assuming it's probably going to be a pretty good break still. I clean it up with the sandblaster, and it still seems to work fine. So it's nice and grippy. Whatever, good enough. My ladder is now a parts rack, like so. This one gear pulley thing is like the weight of a modern winch. And that's pretty much it. That's all the parts for now. At least all the parts that will be painted. Maybe besides that. Undecided. Now a lot of these parts I'm going to wire brush, and then I'm going to put linseed oil over them to make them still metallic looking. I think that'd be a good contrast. And I'm thinking about, I might even put like black on this part. I'm not sure. Winter set in, and it is really freezing out here. I'm hoping I can get this warmed up so I can continue painting. I'm aiming for 3 coats of paint, and then I'm going to put some linseed oil over them to experiment with giving a nice surface to them. It did abrade a little bit, but it just never rotated, so it's just that one streak that's abraded. Oh well. So I cleaned up these parts really well. Well, not the things I used to hold the parts I'm painting, but well enough for now. And I'm probably just going to soak them in WD-40, and then later on I'll most likely slather them with a bunch of linseed oil. But that'll be in summer. Right now, I have at least one working grease fitting. I prized it off of this bolt and made sure that it worked before I put it back on. So now there's a hole that goes into here and it comes out there, and I want to flush out all that grease if I can. Yeah. Should be black when it comes through. There we go. So yeah, this grease is a lot harder. That's nasty. Now I don't expect some of the other ones to work, but oh well. My plan is just to move this between all of them, just to bleed them, because I don't really need the grease fitting just yet. I have a box of like 100 of them somewhere, and I don't feel like buying more shit just to pile up somewhere. So all I want to do is just flush it out, and when I assemble it, I'll be putting some grease on there. That'll be good enough for now. And then sometime in the future, when I happen to find that box, then I'll put new grease fittings on there. Half the top is gone, so looks like it was crushed or something. Maybe it was ground. Oh, no, it's squished. So that, it'll go back on as a cap. But for now, I think all these are the same, so I can just put that in there and there we go. Started leaking a bit. Yeah, it probably would be better to actually sand the inside first and then do this, because otherwise when I sand it, because all the paint's in there, then well, unless I don't need to actually take that layer of paint out. You know what, I'll just leave that layer of paint there unless I actually need to remove it, because most of this actually has so much of a gap that it shouldn't matter too much. For more precision stuff though, you want to remove any paint that gets inside of it. I still have my WD-40 box left over from the lawnmower restoration. You know what? This grease nipple might actually be good too. Ah, perfect. That'll work great. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's so loose that I don't need to remove that paint. When you put something back together, it'll only work from a single way. Okay, so this pin goes into here. I don't think it's going anywhere. I almost forgot about this grease nipple. This looks like it actually might be okay too. So I'm going to remove this. Because this piece happens to be just like a perfect grease fitting holder for wire wheeling. And that grease fitting is really good too. That makes me happy. Ugh. That's nasty. That one was kind of gummed up a little bit, but it's working good now. It's had some gunk in it. It happens. But it is nice how clean they've become because, or clean they've stayed actually, because they have always had grease on them. Well, that one was actually really clean. Well, like, I mean, at least it wasn't blocked up too much. Oh, there's an entire channel here that needs to be cleaned out. I see. Ah, yeah, this stuff's hard. You know, I should probably do it to the other side as well. I bet that has. Yes, it does. It's a little like trough for the grease to lay in. Now just the final real touch that I wish to do, which is to clean off the actual gear teeth, because I think those should be shiny. Well, it's definitely a workout, that's for sure. Alright, I just tried to revive that one, here's a rag, that one grease fitting, and it did not revive. So, I mean, it's crunched up, so that makes sense. But hey, most of the pieces are still good, so that's actually pretty good. I only need one replacement grease fitting, and I have that somewhere. These teeth are all cleaned off. Really nice. I love it. Just need to hold this nut so I can tighten it on this end. Okay, these all figured out. All right. And this. And the braking mechanism. And the brake lever. I know I could have done this a lot differently, but I wanted to put it together as best I could imagine it and then piece together whatever else I realized. But it's all a matter of getting this to work together correctly, which I don't think it is. So what I'm worrying about is this is over far enough to where the little bolt on here is rubbing against that, and I know that'll be annoying. If I had a washer to put in between here, that would be nice, but I don't. I was digging through that box of random shit, and I found a big washer, which should be big enough if I make the hole bigger. I think it's safe to say there's a reason why they didn't keep using these types of posts. And why I should probably continue practicing, because I suck at this. That'll do it. That'll do it really well. If I manage to actually practice this enough, I'll be able to do it a lot quicker than in like 20 minutes, because that was a bit too long for my taste. Now this is why you should save any thick glass you find. This is an old factory window pane. I'm just gonna clean that off a bit. Because the glass is super flat. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Perfect. There's like a small gap, a few millimeters. Perhaps it wasn't a good idea to mix lawnmower parts with these, but oh well. I can figure it out. Nope, that's not right. Something isn't right here. I did measure it, and it seems to be the case that these two pieces are the wrong length. Let's see if that works better. Isn't that weird how it looks green from there and then blue from the other side? I like teal. But it just occurred to me, I forgot to bolt it right here, and so there's a chance that, yeah, it's rubbing a bit, so there's a chance that it was right before. It's definitely hooked on there. I think we have it now, because it was scraping on the inside. Oh, I already put that one on there, never mind. So now it just barely has enough clearance, and it's not scraping on this, and it's no longer difficult to push this in. So I'm thinking what happened was perhaps it got hit really hard and that sprung it out, because it would normally come down to here, and it, like when I undid it, it just popped out really bad. So yeah. I've already greased it up quite a bit, and I had to figure out a lot of this stuff. So it still has that movement and all the parts, but to be honest, I imagine most winches back then would have a lot of movement in them. I've just been spraying WD-40 on all the other parts that I haven't had WD-40 on them, like that shaft and such. I'm really happy with this. I am really happy. Oh, that wood smells so good. Because this is some really nice stuff. You know what? I probably shouldn't attempt this right now. Because, I mean, I want to do this right. And right now I just want to have a winch and like pull down a tree. So, I mean, I think we might already be ready. I could already use this to pull down a tree. That's good.
I think that might be a little high.
I like another one. Do I have another
Yeah.
shackle? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, there is no really freewheeling unschooling.
Nah. Oh well.
And another thing that's nice is that there's going to be a lot of cable left on that spool.
Yeah. So I restored this back in 2018.
The chain?
Yeah, I found it somewhere. I can't remember. I'm getting like this whole collection of stuff.
I thought that was like brand new that you bought.
No. Oh, barely. Just barely. So. All right, we're going to the first option, which was this crappy old strap, which I do not trust. I think my father probably got this in 1998, so, and it's been outside ever since. Yeah, it's not gonna handle too much. And we have it on top of this pan.
You're getting real tight now.
Fucking neighbor's dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Here, lift this up so I can. No, orange cane. The orange cane. Lift it up so it can go all the way around. Now undo the. Oh, it's already maxed out. You take a piece of wood and put it over the center of the cable so if it does snap, it, you know. Perfect.
I think if anything's going to break, it's going to be back there.
This thing's popping and cracking. What was that?
Wow, Dave Wing. There was some stress on that.
Yep.
The tree was moving, but it wasn't ready to give it all.
You're much better at lifting that than I am.
Is our base good enough? You want to modify this at all?
Well, whenever I'm using it, it isn't on the base, so.
Okay.
You know, that little tree is stronger than I thought. You may notice that we have a piece of wood over the cable. We don't have any carpet. Normally you put carpet over it, but I figured it's a big piece of wood over it would be enough to stop the cable from whipping back.
Oof. It's getting some tension on her.
That's got some tension.
Careful of that other end loop now, you know.
Yeah.
You know, in order for it to topple, it has to actually snap. And I don't think it's going to. We've got that to worry about.
Do you think there's a chance that I might be overloading that smaller cable?
This one?
Yeah.
Well, these are the weak points.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd snap the cable. You'll just undo the thing, the loop as we did before. I mean, it's inching, but like I say, the only way it's going to go is if it snaps.
Yeah. Well, I want to rip up the bolt, you know. It really chowdered up the paint on this thing, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to put some thick paint on the inside of this.
That was some stress on this whole thing.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking you could almost. Well,
I think it's probably a project we're just going to sit and wait and think on it for a month. So it didn't quite have the power to pull down a tree, but we just need to add more gearing ratio, and I need to find more parts. I need to find some good stuff to mount this to a tree. But having these on there worked okay for now. I think I really like the idea of mounting this to the side of the workbench over here, so I can have line going up and down pulleys. Need to find enough pulleys to route the cabling, but it's pretty good. If this doesn't seem to hold well enough, then I might redo that end piece, the farmer's eye. When me and Thermiotic Man found this in like September, or actually I guess it'd be June. Yeah, it was June. Or May or something like that. I really imagine it looking good, and I think it looks good now. But it doesn't look the best it could. For one thing, I think that it'll definitely need a wooden handle. And then I was talking to the post-apocalyptic inventor, which he has like a really good idea of like style and all that kind of stuff. And we agreed that it needs to have a highlight color, but I'm not quite sure what that highlight color should be. Like, for instance, maybe it has enough highlight to where some of the parts are just gray steel, but maybe I should take out this shroud and paint that black or gray. I think definitely I should put a thicker coat on the inside of this spool where the cable rubs against. Maybe that could be black. I would really like you guys' opinions on what I should do with this. Well, artistically at least, because I have plenty of ideas of what I can do with this mechanically. I think that, well, for 40 bucks, it's not a bad deal. And it's probably like a 1930s winch. Funny enough, when me and Bill went out to the scrapyard to find steel cable, which we did find a little bit of, we found this. It's a Keystone Iron City grinder, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I think. PA means Pennsylvania, I don't know. But, you know, I'm thinking this might be the next restoration. I only paid like $2 for it, but looks like it was actually a nice green color. It might not even need repainted. It's not too rusty. And if I do repaint it, I'm going to use paint that I make out of linseed oil, not spray paint anymore. And definitely not water-based paint-on paint. But I really like the idea of putting it on by hand instead of spray painting, because I'm just so tired of it having little sides that aren't fully painted. Gets annoying. Well, that's pretty much it. I would love to hear what you guys think about this and my plans for it and what you think would be good for it. And thank you very much for watching. See ya.